Good afternoon, everybody. Hope you have a happy Saturday. It's good to see everybody again. Thanks for coming out last night to hang out with me and Ace Continuado. Hope you go buy his sketchbook. Anyway, today is episode 1 of my jam pieces. A lot of people have asked about them. They said that they look pretty cool, so I figured it'd be kind of fun for the art collectors and the art fans if I each episode, short episodes, I just go over jam pieces and kind of discuss them, go over the artist, show the art, things like that. I'm new at this screen sharing thing, so hopefully this goes smooth. If not, it is what it is. Anyway, we also will have a giveaway at the end of the show. I'm going to ask a question at the end of the show, and it'll be pertaining to something I said during the broadcast. So if you can get the first person in the chat to get the answer correctly, we'll get a print from my wife of the Black Cat, a print from Buzz Vampirella, which is exclusive at the show, and a print of their choice from one of the many great artists that have been kind to donate art. We have quite a few of them. We have Eddie Avila. Those are his contacts if you'd like to go check them out. We have Tom Travers. We have CJ Oshel. James Avila. Mauro Zapata. And Anthony Biondolillo. So I just want to let you know those are artists that provided prints that I will show at the end of the show, and whoever wins can pick a print as well as the 2 that I'm going to give you. All right, so let's get into it. So I collect jam pieces. What is a jam piece? A jam piece is basically, think of it like a jam band. You get a bunch of different artists together on one piece. But to tie it all in together, you kind of have to get a layout, which is a skeleton of the jam piece. So I'm going to show you right now. Let me put this here. This is the layout. And basically what we're looking at is Jason Metcalf, who is an excellent artist, who was a guest on my show. He does the layout for me. I tell him what characters I want. And if I want somebody more prominent or the center figure, I will tell him. And Jason's great at doing these, as you can see. So he does a nice little, skeletal outline. It's obviously in pencil, so it could be altered if it needs to be. And what we have here is the classic Dazzler. If you can see down here, he has the the roller skates. We have Long Shot. We have Psylocke. We have Gambit. We have Jubilee. We have Phantom X, White Queen, Cecilia Reyes, Forge, Rogue, Bishop, Rachel Gray Summers version of Phoenix, and Mimic. Now, Jason had put in claws on Mimic because the newer version of Mimic has Wolverine capabilities, etc. He mimics anybody. I was looking for a classic, which is no big deal because they can be erased. And White Queen to show a power. He had displayed this, but we wound up changing that. And I actually, in the final piece, I add in Firestar, which Jason does for me. So what you do is you get this layout done at his request, obviously picking what characters you want. And then depending on what you want to do, you can get a different artist to do each character. There is kind of a science to it where you want to match the right artist to the right character. And, depending on what art style you like, I like tight 90s pencils for my jams. Although I like so many different styles of art, I do like cartoon art. I like, animated art, so many different styles. But on my jams, I like to get tight, like 90s pencils. So I focus on that for my jams. So let me see if I can get the piece that is, sorry. Yes, okay. I'm trying to work out this scroll, so sorry. We have... Here we go. Let's try that. So the finished piece is, drum roll please, not coming up. All right, nothing like this working out nice. All right, hang on, guys. Sorry. Let's do that. How's that? Okay. I got an idea. So I'm going to show you the finished piece now, which obviously it's at your discretion how quickly you want to get it done. All right, so as you can see, we have Mimic here, and we had the claws taken away. Mark Bagley did this Mimic. It's a classic Mimic, as you all know, from X-Men. And Bagley is one of my favorite artists. Well, there's so many favorite artists. He's an amazing artist. I went to New Jersey Expo, which was a show that used to be held in November after New York Con. And Mark Bagley drew this Mimic for me. Prices range per everyone. Depends on your budget. So, I mean, maybe you get one figure done at a con. Maybe you get 3. Maybe you're crazy and you get 12. It depends on what artists you want, if they're there, and how much they cost, etc. We have Billy Tucci here that did the Rachel Gray Phoenix. I really love the detail he did on the Phoenix Firebird, and I like her face. Sean Chen did this Rogue, and I have to say the pencils are really tight. I love the way he did the pleats in the jacket. Very nice on the clothing. We have Firestar, which I said, as you saw, was added later when we took away the effect of White Queen and her position was changed. So Firestar was done by Jason Metcalf, who does the layouts. We have Forge, which was done by a local artist that wasn't a published name for DC Marvel, which to me it's about the art, not the name per se. So I'll get anybody on there that I really like their art style. And I'm trying to remember his name. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'll get back to you on that. I had Billy Tucci do another one, Cecilia Reyes, and he took away the power of the one hand and just left it here. She, of course, creates force fields, so he just wanted to show some display of power. Jan Duursema did an amazing White Queen. I thought he captured her face, the attitude in her face really well. She's pretty much a classic White Queen, which I love from the John Byrne days when the Hellfire Club were first introduced. And the same with the corset and everything. And I love the fur pelt that she has. And Jan brought her arms down, kind of moved her hip out, gave her a little bit of attitude, which I thought really captured the White Queen extremely well. So I love that. Will Spatasio, of course, did Bishop. He created Bishop, so that was a must. And Wills is one of my favorite artists, and he's a legend, of course. So he did a fantastic job as the centerpiece for Bishop. Tom Rainey, another great artist, he did this Psylocke, giving her powers on both hands. And, Tom Rainey did Mutant X with Havoc, which was a great run. I really love that comic. Then we have one of my all-time favorites, Bob McLeod, who did the classic Dazzler. I just thought he would be perfect for her, and as you can see, he knocked it out of the park. Call me crazy, I really liked the old disco version of Dazzler, but he did a great job. V. Ken Marion, whose pencils are just insane to me, did Long Shot. I mean, look at the detail in the cloth of the outfit. Look at the shading. Look at how tight the pencils are. I mean, it looks fantastic. Look at the pouches. You got to go with pouches, right? And he did an amazing job. He also did the Gambit, which, as you can see style-wise, in the face. Look at what he does with the hair. I mean, phenomenal job. I only regret that I didn't put Gambit more in the forefront, but I didn't think to ask Jason to do that. Anthony Helmer, another local artist at the time, he's on Facebook. You should check him out. He did this Jubilee, and I thought he really, did a great job giving her sass. Jason was great because he put the bubble gum in her mouth in the layout. So Anthony went with that, of course, and did her powers, the sparkle powers. I really like how he captured her attitude in this. Anthony was also at that New Jersey Expo that Mark Bagley was. And David Finch, of course, amazing David Finch, one of the all-time best. He did this Phantom X. And I have a little story about David Finch to share with you. If you don't know David Finch, he is a very kind man who tries to please all his fans, even at the expense of not getting up and going to the bathroom or getting lunch or whatever. He's a great guy. So he said he would draw this for me at the New Jersey Expo. And his line was just insane the whole time. He was there by himself. He had nobody managing the line, etc. So he was just out there in the wind, you know? And he just kept having hundreds of people on his line the whole time. So he kept saying, come back, come back. And I tried to leave him alone. But anyway, it's like 4:30 and he has a red-eye flight back to Canada and the show ends at 5. And he sees me and he yells to come over. And I'm like, will you have time? He goes, yeah, I'll have time. And I told him, I said, look, I know you got a red-eye flight. I don't want to do that to you. And he was kind. He stayed past 5. I know he made his flight, but he didn't have to do this. And he drew this Phantom X for me, which you can see is just amazing. Look at the shading on it. Look at the face. Even though his face is covered, look at his eyes, the determination, the gunfire. And if you look at the bullet shells here, there are bullet shells that it's just such a nice ad, And Jason's great at putting little things like that in the layouts as well. I do like to give them creativity, leave them open to their own interpretation. I mean, if you stifle an artist by being very picky, then you're kind of killing the whole point of why they're artists. And, spontaneity is also fun to see what shows up. And, you want their best. Now, what I recommend when you do a jam is get either the big name or the best artist first if they happen to be the same, which is usually the case. Because when you get the big guy, whether it's David or Mark, or any of these people, to be honest with you, or Wills, everybody else wants to step up and meet that, and they don't want to be the one that, isn't the best on the jam. Plus, these are people that these artists look up to and admire. So when they see a Wills Pertasio or David Finch on there, they go, oh man, that's amazing, I got to step up, and they give you your best. So I recommend you get the biggest and the best, so to speak, first. Also, it's recommended that you do the characters in the front first to give them a chance, to make it easier for them to do the behind. But it usually doesn't work out that way because you got to get an artist when you can. And if you have a specific artist you want for a specific character, you just get them when you can. They're pros. They don't get upset. They get it. They'll do that. But if you do want a jam piece, you can't come with a blank piece of paper. You do have to have a layout done. Otherwise, they're not going to do it for you because it's just too much for them to place it and then try to fit everything together. It's too much for them, especially at a con. These can get expensive depending on what artists you get. But again, you're in control of how often you get a character done. So you don't have to be discouraged if you want, say, Wills and he's more money than you expect. Well, maybe Wills is the only guy you get that show, but the fun is in getting it completed. This is an 11 by 17, and it's a landscape style. Now, I actually got the idea from the old Jim Lee trading cards that we used to have. And he had the X-Men Gold team, the X-Men Blue team, and I loved that team roster look on those cards. So that's when I asked Jason because Jason did a lot of trading cards, to do this for me. And he doesn't disappoint. I have 21 of these. 18 are completed. 3 are on hold, of course, because of the current situation. And then what I do is I like to keep the original pencils. So what I do then is I will get what they call the blue line, which is a scan. They call it the blue line because it scans out and it's blue. And I will send it in an email, a digital file, high res, like 600 DPI minimum, to whatever inker I want to get the work done. Like I've had Mark Morales, Scott Hanna, Tony Cordos, a lot of inkers do it. And they'll ink the blue line. And then I will send the inked scan to a colorist like Chris Sotomayor, Jesse Hagee, Alex Sinclair, Sigmund Torres, and they will digitally color it. Now, if you want to have it traditionally colored, obviously that's your choice. That will be more money, and I do want to do that one day. There's some great traditional colorists, but I get them digitally colored. And then I frame all 3 versions to show the process, which This one currently is being inked by Adelso Corona. It's not finished yet, so I will come back and revisit it when I get the inked version, then get it colored. This was actually the third jam I had done. I started with this one because it was the only one I had a blank layout to show you. Next week, I will show my first jam I've ever done. So it's a great hobby. And then Jason, if you look on the bottom, he added in a ground to kind of center the whole piece. You can see this like a rocky cliff. And then he added the fire trail from Firestar because he's really good at the symmetry and keeping everything nice and lined up and tight. So I just love doing these. They take time. You could take years to do one. You could take months to do one. That's really up to you. It's also a good objective when you go to a convention to get something done besides the same old just looking at vendors all the time, which support your vendors, of course, but it's an objective to get done, and it's really a lot of fun. So this is my newer X-Men jam mixed with some old, because the first one I got done and then the New Mutants one I got done, I wanted them to tie into each other. They don't quite connect, but I wanted them to tie in with two classic characters from the Bronze Age and Silver Age to the original X-Men, and then the New Mutants on the other side. I have other X-Men, other X-Villains, you name it, which we'll go through each week. I'll probably keep it Saturday, 1 p.m. So that's the jam. And again, I will have other jams that I can show the inked and the colored versions. They're just not all completed now. And then when I'm done with all my jams being inked and colored, I'm going to get a hardcover coffee table book done of all of them, which I think will be really cool. So that's that. Having said that, I am going to show you all the prints that have been kindly donated to the show so I can give them away as free art to everybody who's interested. And I'm going to show these now and tell you who these artists are. So this is Anthony Biondolillo. He did his Jokers series. Obviously, you have the Jared Leto, Jack Nicholson, Cesar Romero, who I actually think is the best one, minus the mustache, which I think he included in there. It's so funny. And, of course, Heath Ledger. Oh, why would you do that? All right, I'm sorry. This is not easy. I don't know why it's doing this. I knew this would happen. All right, I'm trying to make this smooth. I apologize. I'm going to show you the rest of the pieces. It just takes a minute. That's why. Now I got it. Okay, guys. So I'm going to share screen now. Application window. Here we go. So then we have Anthony Biondolillo. We have his Magneto based on the movies. And it's not sharing. What are you doing to me? I'm going to have to go through these one by one. Yes, I am. I'm sorry, guys. I have to work out these kinks. But I want to show the art. I'm going to ask the question now. Give you guys time to answer. I'm sorry I didn't even turn on the comments. So I said in the jam, I mentioned a show that 3 of the artists on that jam I got work from. Can you tell me which 3 artists I got at the New Jersey Comic Book Expo I got work from? The first person to give me those 3 artists in the chat will win the prints. Hey, David. Hey, Dell, Raphael, Phil Lockler, what's going on? Bill Field, how are you, buddy? David Donovan, how are you, my friend? Thanks for coming out. I hope, taking a look at the jams is fun. Getting a close-up. I know I'm kind of screwing it up with this share screen. It works, and then it doesn't work, and it frustrates the heck out of me. So let's try this again. I might have to go back and forth individually and toggle this way. So this is the Magneto that Anthony did. It's based on, obviously, the movie, the first class version. Here we go. And then there's his Nightwing. Then there's a She-Hulk in a cartoon style. And these are 8.5 by 11 prints. And nobody has the answer. Nobody listened. Wow. Oh, my. Well, 3 artists on that jam. I'll show the jam again if it will help your memory. Got work done at the New Jersey Comic Book Expo. Now we have Storm, which Anthony Biondolillo did. That's a 8.5 by 11 print. That's the jam again. I will even help you out. The characters that I got there were Mimic, Jubilee, and Phantom X. If you can tell me those 3 artists, I can tell you you're the winner. All right? Who did Mimic, who did Jubilee, and who did Phantom X? You guys are terrible. So this was a show exclusive at my last show before I changed the name from Buzz. The Vampirella cover that he did, it's half the cover. You will get that with whatever you decide to pick. This is CJ Oshel. He did The Mandalorian. Superman rescuing a firefighter, which is very apropos for yesterday. Thundercats. Wonder Woman. And Daenerys with her dragon. So that's CJ Oshel. Eddie Avila did this Batman with a Joker and Batman Who Laughs. He did the Batman Who Laughs with his Robins. He did a Juggernaut with the reflection of Spider-Man in there, kind of reminiscent of the old McFarlane cover with Wolverine and the Hulk and the reflection of his claws. I think that's a really cool print. It's one of my favorites, and I love the Juggernaut. Miles Morales, Spider-Man. Poison Ivy. Spawn. Another Spawn. A Spider-Man, and I will be giving away a metal print of this. These are all 11 by 17, by the way. The CJ ones and these Eddie Avila are all 11 by 17. Swamp Thing. Venom. This is James Avila. He has his own book out that you should really check out. I'm going to post that and show that soon in a video. This is his Frankenstein and the Bride, 11 by 17. Ghost Rider. Enrique Lopez inked it. So they did a nice collaboration there. I think the fire looks awesome. It was a great job. That's 11 by 17. Oops. This is Mauro Zapata. He did this Spider-Man. I think it was great, catching the humor of Spider-Man with the British Royal Guard. This is Venom from Mauro Zapata. Again, this is an 11 by 17. James Avila did this Rogue 11 by 17 print, which actually was art for my flyers for my show. It was very nice. He did Thor when it was, oh my God, why can't I think of her name? Anyway, the female Thor. That's James Avila, 11 by 17. My wife did a Black Cat. It's I think it's 11 by 14. It's a smaller print. We were giving away free for the show. You'll get this and the Buzz Vampirella with whatever you pick if anybody wins. Hey, Brandon, thanks for coming in. So you would get that. So you really get 3 prints, although nobody seems to have listened and nobody's going to win. Tom Travers. These are smaller prints, but you can see he has Optimus Prime, Godzilla, The Mandalorian, nice classic Batman, Spider-Man, Cookie Monster, Boba Fett, Darkwing Duck. And those are the giveaways. Ace spoke to me last night. He's going to be sending me some prints as well. I'm not sure what they're going to be, but you can win prints from Ace. Sorry, Dell, you can keep throwing all the names out there, but that's not how it works. So you got to give me the answer. So I'll tell you what. I'm going to I have 2 choices. I will wait and give it an you know what? This is what I'm going to do. Next week, I'm going to make it 2 prints plus the 2 that we're going to give since nobody got the answer today. And you can't just throw out random names. You got to answer the question. Sorry, guys. But that, my friends, is my jam, the first jam I showed. And I really highly recommend this art form and this hobby for everybody if you can. You know, you don't even have to get big names. If there are a lot of local artists that are more affordable for you and you just enjoy their art, it's about the art. It's not about the name. So I highly recommend just doing that. I think it's fun. But anyway, I'm going to give one last chance for anybody to who maybe listened or heard on the jam piece. Let me show it again so I can give you guys a chance. Oh, no, that's the blank layout. Here we go. No, that's not it either. Here we are. Okay. I'm going to share the screen. Okay, so Mark Bagley did this mimic. I'm giving you a hint right there. And then someone did this Jubilee, and someone did that Phantom X. So I gave you one of the three people that were at the New Jersey Comic Book Expo. Can you name who did Jubilee and who did David Finch? If not, we'll just, if we don't win this week, we will add on a print to next week, and the person next week will win 2 prints plus the Black Cat from my wife and the Vampirella from Buzz. We'll give it like a 10-second countdown and see what you guys got. I mean, you might even be able to see signatures, but the good news is you're not going to be able to see the signature for Jubilee. So that's when you got to get. All right, guys, no winner today. But what we have is Mark Bagley was the answer for Mimic. Anthony Helmer did Jubilee, and David Finch, who I told an actually in-depth story about, did Phantom X. Those would have been the correct answers to win the prints, one of the prints. So what I will do is next week, Saturday, 1 p.m., I will do my next jam, and the winner will get 2 prints of choice, plus the Black Cat from my wife and the Vampirella from Buzz. And for every week that nobody wins, I guess we'll just add on. You get 3 prints, you get 4 prints, etc. Nice try, Del. So please tune in at the beginning of the show. These are short shows. Again, we're pretty much done. Take a look at the art, but you gotta listen to what I'm saying to get the answer to the question. So when I ask it, you guys have that answer, okay? I'm gonna run one more time. We have Mark Bagley, Billy Tucci, Sean Chen, Jason Metcalf, Bob McLeod, V. Ken Marion, Tom Rainey, V. Ken Marion, Anthony Helmer, David Finch, Jan Dursema, Billy Tucci, and I'm so sorry I can't remember this guy's name. Oh my God, it's horrible. Travis, that's it. His name is Travis. What's his last name? I'll have to get back to you on that. My apologies. So that's it, guys. Thanks for coming out to the first jam show. Sorry nobody won. Yeah, I told everybody they got to listen. They got to come in and they got to listen, and I put it in the posts. So I hope somebody wins next week. I would love to give away some free art. I really would. And again, please support these artists. We have Eddie Avila. That's his, and he also has a comic, Day One, the comic. It's a zombie apocalypse comic mixed with martial arts. So check him out. We have Tom Travers. Please check out his Instagram, Facebook to see their art. CJ Oshel. He's a graduate of the Kubert School. James Avila. He is a really great guy. He's at every one of my shows, just like Tom Travers and Eddie Avila. Mauro Zapata. And lastly, we have Anthony Beyond the Lilo. Please go check all of these artists out. Go follow them, support them. And again, next week you can win a print from them. And there's some great prints in there. I mean, they're really all excellent artists, and free art is free art. So thanks for coming out. And I appreciate you guys sharing my hobby with me. Have a great Saturday. Tomorrow night, 8 p.m., I have the episode 15.5, Jonathan Hedrick. He's an independent artist with a great zombie book coming out. He's also done Capable, which was a really interesting comic about handicapped people that develop powers out of nowhere. And obviously it's not explained how or why in the first issue, but he's got that. He's got a really good espionage political book out. You got to check out. We'll talk about tomorrow, and of course his zombie book. So Jonathan Hedrick, tomorrow night at 8 p.m. we have a special episode on the Creatorcon Q&A. Please come check it out. Anyway, see you guys. If not tomorrow night, maybe Tuesday. If not Friday, we'll be doing the next jam piece next Saturday at 1 p.m. You guys have a great day and have fun storming the castle.